ஆமா எனக்கு தெரியாது. Hello and welcome all. So this is Rakshit, and this today's live is a very special live, and I welcome you all who are the viewers watching here. And of course, we have the guest Dean. So it's great to talk with the Atheist Republic Cape Town. Recently saw their live with Zara K, and I think it's a great learning opportunity for the viewers to know. So let me introduce to Dean. Welcome him. Hi, Dean. How
Hi,
are you
Rakshit.
doing?
How are you doing? Very good, very good. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. And guys, do subscribe, like, share this channel, and this is a very, very special things for us. So I hope people do subscribe this channel. So make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon for the notification. Make sure you do it so that we have such podcasts in the future. Okay, coming back, Dean. I think it's great to have you here. Just on a personal note, we would like to know from you, from your perspective, your journey, your experience, and I mean, though I could have introduced, but the point is like we want it to be interactive and people know about your work and how you're doing, and especially in South Africa, how the things are really when it comes to religious extremism. And of course, I will do want to talk about India, but I would like to come back to so it's yours now. Just yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. So yeah, I'm such a cookie cutter, made from one mold, everybody the same. There's nothing really special about me. It's just I realized somewhere along the lines, of my life, I realized that there's something wrong with this story that everybody's telling me with religion, and I never gave it much thought. As a young person, I just believed what everybody told me. And then as I grew older, I started to, apply some critical thinking to my ideas. And I started to ask myself, like, why do I believe this, And, the one thing led to the other. And, I started to move away from religion. And during that process of letting go, what really stood out to me was just the reaction that I was getting. Like a lot of people were, it was almost sacrilegious, to even have these thoughts, and I said to myself, this is definitely a sign that something is wrong here, it didn't take me long to let go of religion. Fortunately, by that stage, I was an adult already, so I didn't really, I didn't find myself in the situation where I was depending on family or depending on somebody to, for my livelihood. I was basically doing my own thing. So it was very, it was very easy to let go. I understand that a lot of people, are in situations where they still are in a family unit, or they are in a marriage or in some kind of a relationship where they depend on the other person. But here in South Africa, religion it forms a very, very big part of people's lives. And I'm sure you can relate to this as well. We have got, we're an African country, and I don't know how it happened. Maybe it was the first people who came to colonize Africa, but the white Jesus is I cannot understand how white Jesus is all of the Africans God here here where I live. But when it comes to why I do like public activism with atheism, it's just we've reached the stage, in my opinion, where religion has had its chance. Religion has had its chance. It's really messed up big time here in Africa. You think it's crazy where you live. You must come to Africa. We have got pastors here who raise the dead. They and it's a big show. And they make a lot of money out of it. And I think that's the thing that's that corrupts the whole process. These people have got absolutely no problem, taking money from everybody. They get filthy rich. They and they abuse the power that they have over people. And for me, that is an injustice. It's like when somebody, I don't know, maybe I'm just too old school. Like when I see a person in a position of power and authority, I want them to have at least a moral core, within themselves, not to do harm. And that's the reason why we specifically, started to organize into little groups. It's because we see the harm that religion does to people, and it's not the obvious things where, people fight one another, or religion causes a conflict between Christians and Muslims, or or Christians and African traditional beliefs. It's because religion, it makes people do very stupid things here where we live. We'll find you'll find for example, complete communities are they do harm to themselves, just in the name of religion. People will spend all their money on pastors and church things, and they won't look out for their grandparents. Like that's the kind of thing that happens here. So I mean, I'm over religion. Like people mustn't come to me with religion, because it's not going to end well for them. Yeah, I mean, like that. I'll just keep on rambling on. Like you must you must pipe in and tell me if there's anything specifically that you guys want to know about.
Yeah, that was a very nice intro, and it's an interesting one. You made a perfect point that we have given time for religions to see, and we see that religions have messed it up very badly. Okay, that's very interesting point.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, today there are far more bigger problems than saving a religion or saving one religious group from the other religious group. Far more bigger. I mean, there are economic issues, economic problems, global problems.
Exactly.
You have the climate change. You have the world hunger problem. I think Africa is very much badly affected by it. Then you have, I think, of course, current pandemic, which you are facing, coronavirus.
Yeah.
And then there is also sort of future challenges, like you have automated systems that can be far more efficient and far more robust. More than 100 men. It can do more than work of 100 people at a time, right? You have that type of technology coming and taking over.
Yeah.
Then you live in a global age where there is a issue of privacy. I mean, you are being watched, your data might be stolen, you could be hacked. It's an age of digital age, online age. Okay, so there is so many things going around. And but you know what people think generally, I would say, is like, okay, I believe in this so and so thing, the other group also believes in certain things. One group, okay, say if it is Islam or Christianity or Hinduism, okay, they start, if they see the other group say something about the other person's belief system, okay, they get offended very easily. I mean, it's like, folks, we have a we have a crisis going on, which is global crisis, okay, of economic peace, climate change, so on and so forth. And here you are more bothered about your
Worried about your
ethnicity,
feelings.
you are bothered about your culture tradition, you are bothered about religious beliefs, you
Yeah,
are bothered about someone offending you when they start criticizing or blaspheming your belief system.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I mean, it's like a Doppler effect. Okay, one person sees, oh, that other group is tormenting our group of people. You know, let's stick with our idea more rigidly. Let's show them that, oh, our ideas are very strong.
yeah,
9 out of 10 times, the fight between the religious group is of numbers and strength, not
yeah,
about the core issues, not about
yeah.
human development. It's about the numbers
Exactly.
and the strength.
Mm, mm.
So
Yeah, I mean,
that's what we need to keep in mind.
yeah. I mean, I would. You only have to look at history. You only have to look at history to see how, how religion, just causes division. That's the first thing that it does. It causes division between people. You'll have people that live in the same country that are of the same ethnicity. They have different religions, and they're fighting at one another's throats. And in Africa, especially, our culture is tribal by nature. Like, I mean, only in my country, we have 9 official languages. There are so many different tribes of people, and each tribe and each language group have got their own identity. And the thing is, with religion, it becomes internalized, and it becomes such a part of people's identity. They won't think, the thinking goes like, not I am a man, I happen to be Xhosa, and I happen to be a Christian. It starts, I am Christian, I am Xhosa, I am a man. So it works backwards, and people adopt this sense of identity, and that's why they get so easily offended. I always laugh, especially you'll go onto online forums, and you'll see what people are doing. They virtue signal. Like, I always laugh. Like, I say to myself, like, the all-powerful, all-knowing creator of the universe that knows every single thing, and he gets you here in South Africa to come and fight for him. It's almost like there's a girl at school that everybody is protecting. Yeah, people are protect. If somebody says something bad about the girl, then the guys come and they want to fight them. It's that it's that kind of mentality that I see within religion. But I always ask myself, like, what has religion done for Africa? That's what you were talking about earlier, like just progress, and making society go forward, making the greater good, like what's going to benefit us as a race, and as a specific, not race, that's the wrong word, like as a species. Yes, as a species, what is going to be of benefit to us is not something that divides us further. Like, we need something that is going to make us progress as a species. Like you mentioned, there's so many different challenges that we face. Our environment is imploding, and technology is going at such a rate that we struggle to keep up with it. So there's a lot of challenges that face us, and um, religion is still back in the 10th century, trying to make sense of where the sun sets in the mud, and does the bread turn into the body of Jesus and the wine turn into blood of Jesus whenever people drink it? I mean, like, what nonsense is that? Like, what is that going to help you to live your life and to make the world a better place in the long run? The only thing that religion is going to do for you, um, is this concept. We were speaking about this in our group as well. Is how religion hijacks things. That's it's part of our nature as animals. Like a sense of community. All animals have got this. Even monkeys have got a sense of community. They don't have a religion or a god, but they stick together and they help one another out. Our sense of morality. If you we are moral just by the way that evolution has shaped us. Like we know, okay, if I hurt, somebody else must also hurt, and here comes religion and it hijacks that as well. You cannot be moral. Morals come from the creator, blah 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 blah. Get out of here with that nonsense. We it's part of our makeup. And a lot of people were raising, this idea within our group, saying, we need to reclaim these things. That's why, whenever I hear somebody in a discussion online or in person mention these things, like, where do you get your morality from? You can't be good without religion and all of that. Like I say to them, I am good and I am moral because I don't have religion. If I have to take the morals of religion in this year 2021, and apply them, I'm going to end up in jail. Like I'm, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. That kind of morality is not going to get you very far these days. But it's insane. Like religion has got such a chokehold on people, and it's because of this concept. It's very strong here in Africa as well. It's what they call spirituality. Like nobody can tell you what spirituality is, but they all, everybody is an expert. But but no two people will sit next to one another and tell you the same thing about spirituality. It's this sense that we have. Like when we see beauty, it's all part of our evolutionary makeup. But when we see things like beauty, or we experience amazement, like people have injected some kind of special feeling or experience into this, and what they call spirituality, and the superstitions that surround religion and that surround our identity in tribes, and that it's hijacked these terms, and taken the religious or some kind of voodoo. I won't say voodoo. We don't have voodoo here in South Africa specifically, but you know what I mean. It's just that woo woo. It's almost like a Deepak Chopra spin on it. Like people will, oh, it's so spiritual and amazing, and you must, and people freak out about it. Nonsense. Like people need to, start applying critical thinking, and that was the turning point as well for me at some stage. Is when like I said to you earlier, I asked myself, why do I think these things? Like why do I believe what I believe? And when I started looking into that, I realized that we as humans have got a very flawed process of thinking about things. We have confirmation bias. We don't see things that we do not want to, that we don't agree with. Like we count the hits and we don't count the misses. And all of these, things make us, they cripple the thinking. Like that's why I really like the name of your channel as well, Rational Thinkers, because that is ultimately what I think will cause progress for us as a species, to to just employ more critical thinking, more rational thinking, because the second you switch off your brain, it's very easy for people to fill it with with nonsense. And I don't know. I guess at the end of the day, it's going to be a long battle for humanity to let go of superstition and religion. Because I think as we evolved from whatever that's the thing that kept us alive. Like if we if we were running on the savannah gathering nuts and foraging for foods like hundreds of thousands of years ago, and you heard something in the bushes, if you didn't think that there was something there to that's going to come and catch and kill you, then we wouldn't have survived to be at this stage. So but the one thing struck with me, I don't remember specifically who said it. There was someone, they were having a discussion about evolution. I think it was in Darwin's time. It's called they mentioned the stamp of our lowly origin, so and that's what religion is as well. Like it's when it goes back to the time when we didn't know, like I said earlier, where the sun goes at night. We didn't know what thunder was. We didn't know where wind came from, and people just started making up nonsense. We live in the 21st century now, but it's time for us to grow up as a species, honestly.
Yeah, that's I think a great point. I think it makes real sense. It clears the doubts. But here is one of the viewers' question. I think yeah. So here's one of the question from our viewers. So it says, how to be rational when you are surrounded by the conservatives? I mean, when I say conservative, I mean people who might think like how it was something like 40 years back or 50 years back or
Yeah.
30 years back, something like that, where the ideas of LGBTQ plus, about moving towards advanced technologies of AI, where recognition of climate change as a superior supreme problem hadn't been recognized yet. Okay, so I'm
Yeah.
talking about that time when people think in their mentality, in terms of their mentality, it's something like that, 1970s, the 80s, the 60s. So how do you cope up and be a rational person when you are surrounded by those group of people, or even your family members for that matter?
Yeah. Look, I mean, South Africa, we have got very, very fresh experience with a lot of people having to change their minds very quickly about something. So it's not impossible. There are a couple of different approaches. Some people say just rip the plaster off. Like it's very painful when you slowly peel off a plaster from a wound. It's better just to take it off quickly, get the pain over, and it's done. And that's one approach for for this kind of it's a desensitized, you have to desensitize people. When people are when there's a majority of conservative people within your surroundings and you want to make an impact and basically change ideas or change thinking, it's going to be a process that you can either approach like I said, by ripping off the plaster quickly and just getting it over and done with, or sometimes it is more, it's a better approach just to take it slowly, and little by little to inject these kind of ideas within a community of people, and a good idea to get people to start thinking about things differently is a method that I encountered online as well. It's called street epistemology, where you basically take anybody's deeply held belief and you ask questions about it, and it's never like trying to say to the person, you're wrong for believing this, you're wrong for believing that. But it's a very clever and skillful way of asking questions. Let's take, for example, a very deeply held belief, like somebody believes if I take a vaccine, I am not going to, have, or let's say it's going to give me some additional illness. So then you will ask them questions, for example, how would your life be different if you took a vaccine and you didn't get, any adverse effects from it? Would that change your mind about how effective it is? So it's just a different way of approaching things. but there is no solution like a one-stop solution that applies to every single situation. You have to try many different methods, but the thing is that you keep on trying. There's it's better, it's how can I say, it's better to try and to fail than to never try at all. Because if you never try at all, you're not going to know if you're going to make a difference or you're going to make an impact. But that's also ultimately up to you. So you have to make that decision. Like, how much of myself am I going to invest in this process to try and affect this change? Sometimes it's really, sometimes if you're working with like 50 very conservative BJP members, like you're never going to change their minds. Like there's no point to to do that. So if you want to invest your time, choose your battles well. Choose battles that are not going to take up too much, where you're not going to have to sacrifice too much of yourself, but also where that you stand a chance of at least making a difference or making a change or making somebody think twice about something. In my opinion, when you have a successful interaction with another person as an atheist, when they stop and they think and they say to themselves, this atheist actually has a point. I never actually thought about it like this, or I never thought about it like that. That is a successful interaction, and that is what we try to aim for as well. We don't want to win every single debate. We're not like the Dawa men. We don't want to go and, I destroyed the kafir today. Like we're not like the Dawa men. We want people to think about things. That is a big win for me in my book. I hope that answers your question. I just went on a tangent there.
I think that's great. While I was listening to you, did mention a point about if you're surrounded by 50 BJP men, you're not going to change their mind. I think that's a great statement. I think the best statement so far. Yeah, that's true as well. I mean, if I talk about India, right, the mindset of BJP is quite literally speaking either 100 years back or 500 years back. It's not even in the 80s or the 90s or the 70s where I'm talking about the Western conservatives, okay? But when I talk about the Indian conservative, they are kind of ultra nationalistic, okay? They mix. The thing is, you associate nationalism with culture, tradition, and belief system of this geographic area. And the belief system, how ridiculous it may be, but if you go against it, you are anti-national. If you are supporting it, even though you may not be a very good person, you are nationalistic. That's the yardstick. Okay.
Exactly.
I mean, and it's the politics of the entire thing. I'm talking about Hindutva or Hinduism right now is based solely and entirely on, hey, whether I criticize Islam or not, hey, whether I question the Christianity or not, hey, whether Muslim is able to show his allegiance towards the country, hey, whether Christian is able to respect Hindus' rituals or not, hey, you know what, you made an offensive ad, you made an offensive poster about Hinduism, but these people never do question on Islam, these people never do. So that's the yardstick, that's the mentality, right? The entire process, especially in India, of the Hindutva movement works, that whether the other group of people belief system is being criticized or not, and even if they are being criticized, they ignore purposefully. Why? Because that doesn't fit their political ideology, that doesn't going to fit their agenda. But the moment they see a same person who criticized Islam and Christianity and Judaism, if that same person comes out and says, you know what, you had a god called Krishna who had sex and play and joy with young girls. You
Mm.
had a god called Ram who left his wife when she was pregnant. Hey, you had a king of heaven who raped the wife of a sage. So when you have that sort of, when same person puts this sort of criticism, they at that moment conveniently forget that this was the same person who spoke against Islam and Christianity. They go
Mm.
after that person. I think the classic case is Armin Nawabi. I think you must have seen the Atheist Republic, the Sexy Kali photo. So here is an Iranian ex-Muslim. He comes out of Iran and he's safe in Canada. He is going after Islam. In fact, the only person whom I saw literally tearing the Bible and Quran and eating the paper, literally. I think the only
I
one
saw
I
that.
saw.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, the only one. So this was the same man who blasphemed. If he was living 500 years back in Europe or in Middle East, he would have been killed for blasphemy. Okay, in
Exactly.
Islamic. So he did that online, showing his face. The Hindutva people, they were nuts. They were so happy. It was almost like, oh, we are bursting crackers. So great. But the same person on Twitter puts the sexy Kali photo and says, oh, I didn't know. Hinduism is so cool. This is such a sexy goddess you have. And he puts that sexy Kali photo.
Oh, they lost their mind with
They,
sexy Kali.
they, they, I don't know. I mean, what happened? But I just think
Yeah.
the way the mentality of Hindutva or Hindutva works is
Yeah.
they go by the name. They look at, oh, it's Armin Nawabi who posted that photo. They don't care if it was an
Yeah.
Indian person posting it. If Indian person had been posting, maybe they would have arrested immediately and fine. You have some laws taking course. Armin Nawabi, ex-Muslim from Iran, how dare he post it? That's the sort of mentality, and that's precisely where they went berserk. And they have the case pending in Supreme Court, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's it's really embarrassing when you take into account that Hinduism has lot of eroticism as well. At the same time, lot of bullshit and superstition. Okay, so
Exactly.
eroticism, yes, one might appreciate it as a liberal, as a humanist. That's okay to free think. That's okay. I mean, that's something natural. Early humans didn't have a book calling for God. Early humans had sex on their own with their wives, with their community. In fact, there are early human communities where one person had a sex with multiple women, one woman had sex with multiple men. There was intermingling, and that's precisely
And
one reason why.
Hijra and all of that.
Yeah. So that's precisely why we are the sapient species are called as
Mm.
social animals. That's what makes us very, very special compared to other species, right?
Mm.
But since the agricultural revolution 12,000 years back and emergence of religion 6,000, 5,000 years back, slowly starting from animism to polytheism, from polytheism to, what you say, monotheism, and from monotheism to cults, okay, things have been only getting worse.
Yeah.
They have failed to
We we
fathom the
have to
fact
we have to
that
say. I
we
mean,
are
you and I.
social animals.
It sounds to me like you and I can sit and talk about this for ages.
Yeah, I mean, we are.
Unfortunately, I have to wrap it up now, Rakshish. But
Yeah.
reach out to me. We must schedule something because I can already see that we think exactly this along the same lines.
I mean, that's okay. Yeah, was there any other person of yours coming if we wanted to continue anything, any issue like that?
Yeah, you couldn't make it, so I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, fine.
No, I mean,
So no issues.
like I said to you earlier, unfortunately, one of my clients got a hold of me, so I have to cut it short, unfortunately. But reach out to me. We can definitely schedule something again. And we can dive into the specifics of something. But I have to cut it short, unfortunately. It was very nice meeting you.
Yeah, that's great. That's fine. Uh, I think the 36 odd minutes we have been talking, and that's great. And I hope our audience has enjoyed, though it hasn't been long. It hasn't been 1 hour, 1.5 hour, which you usually do. But I hope the audience takes it, and
Thank you so much.
the I hope.
I have to.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Okay. Thanks. So thanks a lot, Dean, for coming in, joining, and sharing your valuable inputs and insights and wisdom here. It's been great to have you here, and I hope the audience has, well, in whatever short time we did the live, whether it's 37 minutes or so, I hope the audience has enjoyed it. I hope they might have got some insights about uh, his experience and his observations about the religions. And yeah, do go out and subscribe his YouTube channel, Atheist Republic Cape Town. I'm going to share the link. 1 second, folks. So let me share. Guys, I'm going to share the Atheist Republic Cape Town link. They currently have only 153 subscribers. So guys, do like, share, and subscribe this channel and like this video. But at the same time, do subscribe and hit the bell icon notification for Atheist Republic Cape Town. I'm going to share the link here. Please. Yeah. So. So this is the Atheist Republic Cape Town channel link. Please do go and subscribe the channel. They currently have only 153 subscribers, but let's make sure we get it to 1K and increase it. So do enjoy it and like, share, and subscribe. Yep. So सौराष्ट्र, हेलो, आप कुछ बोलना चाहेंगे सौराष्ट्र? Okay, so I will be ending the live here. No issues. Unfortunately, he was busy and he had to take an urgent meeting. So I will be ending the live now, and I hope people here have enjoyed his inputs. I hope you are gonna share this video to maximum number of people. Thanks. Good night.